In Japan, of course, as I say, when the media stops talking about something, it's like it never happened. And that's all you need for most folk today, because they are perfectly conditioned. And it's interesting, as I say, that they pulled all the major websites down, the official websites from different governments and monitoring stations that were giving us the different levels of iodine and cesium and plutonium and all the rest of it. Were all pulled down one after another each time we put them up. And now you can't get access to any real data at all, except a little bit of what's happening in Japan. And luckily, some of us have saved all the different sites when they had the radiation coming over the Americas. It's still coming over because the things are still smoking and steaming away, by the way. And the media is not going to talk about it. We're not supposed to know. Why worry the children? That's their attitude at the top. And they want you to concentrate on other things. And they also want you to keep working and don't panic. And because if folk really knew what was happening, they might start thinking and not go to work and stuff like that, stop buying stuff, and the economy would fall flat in its face. So they're going to work you to the end, and you're going to see, and this is not just, I'm not saying this because I like saying it, it's just a fact with the amount of radiation that's been released here and still going on, and see, I'll keep going for at least 10 months, they say, before they can do anything, and up to the year 2015 before they even attempt to encase or bury this stuff that's smoking and steaming away into the atmosphere, maybe 5-6 kilometers high and then blowing across to the Americas. They won't be encasing it till the year 2015, maybe. That's reassuring, eh? But now they've got radioactive iodine found in the breast milk of the Japanese mothers. Well, you'll find it here too, unfortunately. Back with more after this break. Hi folks, we're back, cutting through the matrix and going through some of the media, but then again adding to it and so on. And this one here is an article is about the radioactive iodine now in mother's breast milk in Japan. And of course it'll be elsewhere wherever the stuff is blown as well, because we were getting massive doses coming across the Americas and Canada before the sites were actually pulled down. I've kept as many as I could here, in fact, the different graphs showing the different levels of cesium and so on. And the very reason that they pulled them from the public's view is obviously because it's so high that they don't want us to know. Simple as that. We're supposed to be happy, buy, spend, work, and so on. You know, obvious. But it says here the government faced calls for a full investigation into the impact of the nuclear disaster on mothers and babies following the discovery. The radiation contamination came to light after tests were conducted on breast milk samples taken from 9 women living northeast or east of Tokyo. 4 of the women were found to be contaminated with the highest reading of 36.3 becquerels of radioactive iodine per kilogram detected in the milk of the mother of an 8-month-old baby in Kashiwa, Chiba Prefecture. There are no current legal safety levels for radioactive substances in breast milk, okay? Like they don't know. They don't. You know how many tests they've done even before the atom bomb in World War II, and the tests they did on individuals to find everything that could happen with all kinds of radiation. They've all been done. They know all this stuff. Anyway, it says there's no current legal levels for radioactive substances in breast milk as set by the Nuclear Safety Commission of Japan. It says, however, the breast milk readings were below the safety level of 100 becquerels per kilogram of tap water consumption by infants under 1 year of age, and no radioactive cesium was found. Well, I don't really believe any of that, because they upped all the safety limits. And now, if you got a safety limit, an old safety limit, that meant anything above the safety limit was obviously dangerous. And we know that all levels are dangerous, but especially for infants as they're growing, because their cells are constantly splitting so quickly and dividing and multiplying. That's when you get the deviant cells coming out, and you know where all that leads. So, but that's the kind of little bits they give you about it, and no one's really hunting for information. The press has been told to ignore it, and sure enough, the public will ignore it too. They'll remember something in a year or two's time, kind of vaguely, about a big wave coming in, because that's what awes them, basically. They like that kind of stuff, just like the movies. It's just like that movie Deep Impact that they showed too, predictive programming. Even taught you in the movie too how they would eventually draw straws or lottos for a few folk at the end who would be lucky enough to be saved in the underground establishment. But they also told you that all the elite ones who were really important for a future society would all get free seats right away, of course. you at the bottom would get a lotto. Isn't that nice? And that stuff is actually taken from various scenarios they've already worked out in advance from years ago.